Oh boy, what is going on?
Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
Well, I got no idea how this stream started. I was waiting for Uncle Mike, but here we are. So I'm not gonna end it and reboot it. Milo Bell, welcome back. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the festivities out there in Jacksonville. I'll wait for Mike to jump on in here momentarily. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. He says Christina's up 1-0 in sets. Are they haven't started the final, have they? It's not till tonight, no? Or am I tripping already? I don't know. I did get to see the semifinal between her and Zhao Fang Fu, which was a great matchup. Uh, it says sales up 1-0 in sets. Yeah, I think you might be a little bit behind there. It's over with already. So Christina has moved on, as has Seo. So should be a great final. The men's semifinal kicks off here in I think about another hour or so. Filler and Yap, and then Capito and Arseni, the guy who's just splashing on the scene. But for me, you guys, the last couple of days has been the Allison Fisher show. It's been pretty amazing and inspiring seeing her go and compete, and especially considering the fact that me and Mike were talking the other day about how uh, he was talking about how I texted him the first or the second day of the doubles, and I saw that the Styres had pulled up. And when I texted him, and I guess he messaged Tyler or Margaret, and he's like, "Yeah, well, they wanted to focus on the World Championship," and I get it, for Margaret, and it's a very important event and all this. But it was in reflecting with that, I thought it was pretty great to see Allison not only continue to play the doubles, she also dropped her first match in the women's world nine ball. Was playing basically morning, noon, and night, and it's been an awesome few days. It culminated last night with her snapping off the doubles with Jesus. So yeah, it was a ton of fun. I was on the edge of my seat. I haven't gotten that invested in watching pool in a long time. With seeing great genuine stories and just seeing a player who's already great, already thought of as the greatest of all time, all these things, and rightfully so. But then to see her kind of pull that together, and in a match in the doubles in which they were the underdogs in that matchup. I got my buddy of mine, Michael Salmon, who does their pull stat guy. He was sending me that they were just hitting on all cylinders. So let me know in the chat who you guys got in the final, whether it's Seau for the women and Christina Tkach. I think it's going to be an epic, a possibly five setter. I'm not so sure it's going to go the distance, in my opinion. I'll give my prediction here as soon as I get Uncle Mike on the phone. Mike might still be a little hungover from the Bears game last night. So I'm going to see if I can maybe give Mike a call here, tell him to get his ass on in here because we are rolling. And just right on cue, right on cue. Hey, we're live, baby. We're going. We're on.
You started without me?
I didn't. I don't know what happened. No, I was sitting here waiting on you. And then I don't know what happened. I think because my computer gets a little glitchy, so I think it hit the go live button. I'm like, oh shit, here it's already. Can I get the countdown right? The 3, 2, 1 on restream. So I wasn't gonna stop it and then reboot it again. Mike, I love the shirt, man. I want to. Were you in Chicago last night?
No, you know what? I had tickets for the game.
You didn't go to that game?
Well, because the truth is, I got the tickets by accident when I was trying to buy tickets for the game in Green Bay.
Typical. Okay.
And
Okay.
so then my cousin uh, contacted me when I said I couldn't use tickets and said, can I buy them from you for my twin boys as a Christmas present? And
Nice.
I was like, absolutely. And man, did they texted me last night. They're like, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, they
So
get their money's worth for sure,
so
man.
yeah, worked out good for everybody.
It was not looking like the game. Actually, this whole weekend has been like since Thursday has been full of like just classic games. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like down to the wire, comebacks, all these things. But that
yeah.
game last night, man, was just a crazy finish.
That
I
was
mean,
off the hook.
yeah,
That just didn't make any sense. And I I have this thing where on games like that I really am, vested in.
yeah, yeah.
I like to sit and watch them alone,
Oh, yeah,
and
you're that guy. Okay.
yeah, and I turn the volume off. I don't want to hear. I mean, Troy Aikman. Brady's actually really good, but I
Yeah.
don't like all the clutter. I just want to watch the game and
You're like a
pitch.
sociopath, you know?
Well, it's
You're,
just I just like to focus on the game and make my own interpretations of what's happening, who's playing. I don't need anybody to tell me that shit. I watched football long enough. So and the whole time I'm sitting there going, this isn't gonna end. Then it got toward the end. I thought, you know what? Do one they needed that win against the Packers. They could have if they'd have lost yesterday and still won the division, I would not have been happy because they need to start showing they can beat the Packers. And yeah, if you're a Bears fan, you've been waiting for this a long time for a team that actually looks pretty good and a coach that looks like he's going to be a keeper.
yeah.
We've gone through coaches like the ones we pick have all sucked. So yeah, it was good. So then, because I taped the game, then I got to watch the whole fourth quarter with sound on afterwards, just to enjoy the moment.
It was awesome, man. And I was that was the game where like cause see I'll have so like last night the setup was I had the pool on the computer and the main event for me is watching, sports, right? So like I'm going through between the college, which was just a blowout and terrible last night anyway, or yesterday, and then watching the NFL. But NFL will always take precedent over college unless Alabama's on for me. But um at the end I had it on and it always kind of like tilts me with that strategy with football when they go for the
Field goal.
for the field goal early, right? Or
Yeah.
like not early, but they were already running out of time. I thought they scrambled to get that field goal off and took a lot of time off the clock. And I'm thinking, okay, well, this is just a big waste of time because now they're going for the onside kick, which never ends up
Well, that was the
converting.
thing. I was screaming at the TV. I'm like, they didn't get the kick. They're supposed to get the kickoff at like 2:05, 2:10, something like that, so that they've got the 2 minute warning and two
On the
timeouts.
back end. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And as soon as they blew it, then they were forced to go for the onside kick because with the 2 minute warning and two times out, they actually could have kicked off.
Yeah, they would have still had like less than a minute left to go, like a minute 10
Yeah,
ish, somewhere
but
around there.
but they were trapped into doing the onside kick probably either way. So it didn't really make a whole hell of a lot of difference. And like
And that guy from
Williams,
Green Bay just got assaulted as soon as he touched the ball. I mean, they just I mean, I would hate to be underneath that pile. Like my ribs and my back are
he
sore
was
this morning from watching that play.
he was out. He was out for their overtime. I don't know what
Yeah,
what
yeah.
was hurting other than his pride, but yeah, he got toe up.
Well, you
But
know what I love about like what'll serve them well is that it's going to be tough playing in Chicago in come January. So having home court is really going to
oh
slow
yeah,
down a lot of these, like especially when you consider like offensive NFC teams that you got. So
yeah,
uh, big win. It's been a fun weekend of sports, Mike. I mean,
yeah.
legitimately, I've been
I mean,
from
for a
Thursday.
3-3 game, that Texas A&M Miami game was killer.
Oh yeah, well, nothing but defense, man. Nothing but defense. It was back
Yeah,
and
missed
forth
field
both.
goals.
Yeah, and missed field goals, of course. I mean, it started off well. Even on the note of missed field goals, what was it that Oklahoma game? When that the guy was like the best thing since sliced bread, missed the field goal and for Oklahoma, and they started up 17-0. But anyway, it was just between that the Seahawks game the other night on the
Yeah, it
comeback
was crazy.
home on the
Yeah,
comeback. Uh, and then of course watching pool all weekend, Mike. We're both pool nuts, and I was sweating the men, sweating the
yeah,
women, sweating the doubles. Like I started the show, for me, and I put it in the title here, Mike. It was the Allison Fisher. I know she's out of the World Championship now, but
yeah.
talk to me about how special that young lady is, and how much that she just continued to cement her already like locked up Hall of Fame legacy this weekend.
it's all just icing for her at this
Yeah.
point. And for us, it's fun to see because you know she's not playing in all the events. She's kind of picking and choosing where she goes. But Jacksonville's close enough to Charlotte, and it's a world championship, so she's down there. And here she, wins the doubles with Jesus, and then goes to the semifinal, takes out Kelly Fisher, gets to the semifinals of the women's. That's just it's crazy impressive for her to be doing this.
And she was an underdog on paper in both those in the women's
Oh,
world handball championships,
yeah,
which her matches. She was an underdog against Kelly and an underdog against Lu Sha, especially
yeah,
considering the match that she came off from. So I mean, yeah, it was just epic. I mentioned to start the show that I'd be getting like fed stats from my guy Michael Salmon from the Pool Stat guy, and he was saying, bet the house on Chow and Conrad going into the doubles because they had just been demolishing teams, 3-0,
yeah.
3-0, or 2-0, whatever it was, straight sets. But like there's always that like intangible factor that is hard to like get a grasp on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
some players just have that like will to win. Allison is that one where she just steady stays the course and doesn't get rattled no matter how gusty it is on the boat. You know what I mean? She just stays cool, calm, and
It's
collected and
interesting.
poised.
It was interesting with her matches because it was kind of the opposite of most of the double pairings, where the weight is on the shoulder of the male shooter, and he's the one who expected to keep, his female partner kind of composed and under control because
Or,
he's, the better player or whatever. So, in this case, I think that she was the steadying factor in their matches, and that helped Jesus a lot. And they played really well together. He just looked like he was enjoying being able to play with a legend like that, and just
yeah,
kind of going with the flow. And they came with some good outs.
it's like I talk about this all the time in terms of the PBS, and just the different dynamics and twists they give us with these events, because it is so like, I mean, other than the last 2-3 years, we had never seen events like this before. At least not. I'm
Yeah,
reminded of like world teams,
yeah,
15 years ago. You know what I
it's
mean?
been a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's just, and I love seeing it. I love, and even from not just the sports fan in me from seeing a twist, but then also like I'm thinking if I was there, it'd be cool to see the men and the
Yeah,
women, and you have a reason for both of them to be in the same building at the same time. I
it's
think,
always been the best. I talk about that all the time. The old days when the first 15, 20 plus years that I was with the magazine, all the big tournaments were men and women at the same event.
yeah,
Um, and that was always so much fun. It was always such a better dynamic having everybody in the building at the same time.
the energy,
Yeah,
it's the energy, it's the excitement, and just seeing like you'll get to see these like in this instance you'll get to see these like unconventional pairings, right? Because you would imagine Allison, like if I were to go and think of like just who would suit Allison, I'm thinking like Darren 5 years ago, you know what I mean, like
yeah,
something
yeah,
like that, you know what I
yeah,
mean. And
yeah,
so, but to see her go, and I think it was kind of a little last minute them two getting together, but it was
yeah,
beautiful because Jesus is playing great, Allison's a effing legend. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But like you never know how to clock it. There's an age difference there. There's a cultural difference there. There's a style
Oh, you look
difference
at
there.
you look at
Obviously,
Conrad and Chow. I mean, that was not
yeah.
it was not one that you would have said, "Oh, this looks like a natural pairing."
Oh no, exactly. And kudos to Conrad, by the way, because I think he was like the only Polish guy there. So he's probably traveling by himself, if so, and usually you'll see them kind of stick to like their own country, even still. Marty Herman says Jesus was a leader in that team. Yeah, I thought it was interesting to kind of see her defer to him a little bit more, considering that she's the alpha and far more accomplished. But she
Yeah,
really
yeah, yeah. She did,
she
but
really respected
I
his
still
his
think that
input.
she was a very. I still think she was a very steadying factor for him because of her experience and her legend status.
Right. Yeah.
He certainly didn't feel like he had to carry her.
There's trust there, and he brings an extra level with his offensive prowess, having being probably the second best guy with the jump cue, really strong on his kicking, coming off a success in his own individual, right? Coming off of the win in Florida just recently as well, Mike. Of course, the Florida Open, having a strong showing and things like that. So it's like it was cool seeing it. To be honest with you, I don't think I would have pegged them to go, into the finals.
Yeah,
Nor would I probably picked Conrad and Chow because they didn't say more
yeah,
than two words together. They were just speaking the pool language of like pointing their cue
yeah.
here and there. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
But this is what you get with the Pro Billiard Series. I'm sure those who were in attendance loved it. It looked like there was a decent amount of people there that were cheering at the end, seeing Jesus' family there or whatever,
yeah,
and just and friends. But how could you not have been rooting for Allison, man? You know, like
yeah.
I mentioned to start the show, like about the Styers and them pulling up at the doubles because of the scheduling and all this. But like I started thinking about it. I'm like, man, Allison's been playing a lot of pool, Mike.
Yeah,
Like,
she
I
played
mean,
probably as much as anybody the whole week.
and more than anybody the entire week. Yeah, and not for nothing, but she's not the youngest, horse out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
right.
for her to like still have that level, right? When like I was tired and I wasn't even playing pool and I'm sitting there watching pool all day and I'm tired. You know what I mean? So it just gave me like so much more. I mean, obviously I respect Allison to the moon and back, but like it
Yeah,
gave me just that much more admiration and respect seeing what she was able to go and accomplish out there
yeah,
this
yeah,
weekend, Mike. So
yeah,
I'd love to see them kind of parlay that into a strong showing out there in Vegas. It gets me excited for Vegas on that note, and the Westgate coming up here in another like month and a half, 2 months, whatever it is. And I know, from what I understand, they're doing a world teams out there. And I had a little birdie tell me the other day what that team USA triples is going to be, Mike, and it's pretty freaking cool if I may say so myself. So uh, I'll wait till whenever they announce it, but on the note of that, Mike, we got and we'll jump into the women's World Nine Ball Championship here in a moment. But there's also the men's semifinal, which I think is starting
yeah,
in another like 30 minutes. Up
yeah.
top, up top, you got Arsini and Robbie. And listen, no disrespect to them, but for me, it's all about the filler and the Yap show, Mike.
Of course it is. I mean, yeah, that's that's a final you would dream of,
Yeah,
uh, and it's in the semifinals. But yeah,
especially this year, like right
yeah,
now at this
yeah,
point
yeah.
in the year.
Right now, yeah,
Yeah.
Yap is number one, and Josh is showing everybody that he's still Josh. So or has been recently. So yeah, it's going to be pretty nuts.
Yeah, I expect a lot of strong tactical play, given the fact that neither one of them I fancy to have more like an edge on the break. Maybe Yap a little bit, but like it's just you're gonna get to see an all around game from these two guys, and you're gonna get to see a really composed game from both these guys. And the thing that I love about it, especially with players like this, is that once you give them the window, one, they're not afraid of the moment, and two, they're both closers, Mike. Like epic, epic, epic A1 closers in
Right,
the game
right,
right now, you know?
right.
Um, and up top, like I mentioned, I mean, look, it's cool and all to see Arsini and Robbie go deep, but it's kind of like it's a little anticlimactic. I think the winner, like most people, would probably pick out of the bottom side no matter what, So
Yeah, right.
it's like I don't care who's playing who from up top. If it's I'm picking the guy from the bottom. I'm picking Yap or Filler to win it all. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah, it's interesting. Some of it. Uh, I don't know how quickly the final is after the semifinal, but if Yap and Filler beat each other up for 5 sets, that's that's a long match in this format. That I've talked to guys who like Fran, those guys who've played
yeah,
5 set matches in this, and then have to play another match the same day. It's a grinder. So
I'm
someone
thinking,
like Arsini or Robbie comes out in 3 sets, and these two beat each other up for 3.5 hours. It doesn't, it still makes them, they're still going to be the favorite, but it kind of can even itself out a little bit.
yeah, I think like well, is the men's gonna be 5 sets though? I thought the
Oh
women's
yeah, you know
was.
what, you're right. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, no, it's still, yeah, only the women's is 5 sets
Yeah.
because it's a world championship. Men's is just a PBS open, so it's just three. So that, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, that'll slow. But even
You're
still, though, I
100%
mean, yeah, I think like either way, though. And here's the thing: when it comes to this event, and you saw this in the Christina match, especially recently. It's like no lead is safe, especially when you got guys or players, I should say, not just guys, but players who can capitalize on mistakes and aren't afraid to go for the moment and execute. Like when they decide, like, okay, it's go time. More often than not, they're gonna get there. And I mean, at a really, really, really high percentage, Mike.
right.
To be able to close out that rack and how much like it can be a momentum shift.
These
One,
are these are winners break, right? in the men's format. Yeah.
It is, yeah. But neither one. This is the thing. I like neither one of these guys are really fancy to have a huge edge in that break, like I mentioned before. And
Yeah.
so I think they're both trying to make the one playing 10 ball. But it's just it's fun seeing two A1 talents at this spot in the
No,
year. Just be able to come out and
agreed.
coming into the event, you know that they're uh, like they're the two that people were betting on, right? Like they're the two that people
Yeah.
pick to go and win the whole thing, especially
Yeah.
just given the field and how soft it was. You know what I mean? Like relative to stars, Um, but yeah, no, this is what we've been absolutely waiting for. So, and if you're one of these guys up top, listen, I know Robbie's won the UK Open before. I know he's won, and I know Arseni's coming off of like a semifinal out there in the Philippines or whatever it
Final,
was. But like,
final, final in the Philippines,
what was the score in that Philippines, Mike?
like 13-3 or something. He got
So
torched.
he didn't even, yeah, he didn't even really give.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like you're gonna have to have one of those like out of body type experiences for either one of those guys to be able to pull it off.
Well, Arseni's one of those, crazy fast, dangerous. He's kind of like a Cheska in a format like this, where it's only a race to 4, and
Right.
he could be at 4 before you realize he's even shooting. So it's different. Maybe with a longer race, maybe if he's not spot on, it could cost him. But in this format, he's a dangerous player.
Yeah, well, his style was tilting too, akin to Cheska's, Mike. And
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
mean,
it'll put like a Josh or a Yap on tilt because I think they're gonna keep him sitting in their chair more often than not. But like if he gets any kind of success on the break, like he can catch fire. And the one thing that I love about that kid, like he's when I say this, Mike, I'm gonna say this like with as much respect as possible. Okay, like it's gonna sound a lot worse than what it actually is because I'm really trying to pay the kid a compliment here, okay? But like he's too young and dumb to realize he's supposed to be intimidated by the moment, like he's
yeah,
oblivious
no,
to it. You know what
yeah,
I'm
no.
saying?
He showed that in the Philippines. And they talked to him. He said the person in this tournament I wouldn't want to play is me.
Which was my favorite quote of the year, by the way.
It's,
Like by a mile. You know what I mean? Like, and I love the confidence of it, Mike. And he doesn't have that like uh he's not that horse who's got a lot of scar tissue and has been through, wars or whatever. So like he's still a little fearless, but like I love his style of play at the same time. He's
yeah,
quick to the shot, he makes great decisions, he executes really well. You think TV table is gonna give him a problem? The Philippines Open showed that it really doesn't, and nor does high intensity, high crowds, big pressure, all those things. You know what I mean? And so yeah, that's gonna be the cool part. And Robbie, I mean, look, he's an easy guy to root for, man. Like
yeah,
just super like calm, cool, collected. Not he's showing steadiness. Haven't really seen that same level of success since that UK Open win. But like he's more than capable of continuing his
yeah,
run here in the men's Open, Mike.
yeah. No doubt. He's just a real steady player.
Arturo says, "Can you talk about the 10 ball break on them Predator tables? Why are players struggling to make balls on the breaks of the cloth?" No, I think it's just that trash rack, and for as much as I
Yeah,
enjoy the events.
with all the preamble you had to give to your comment about Arsenio, you just rolled right into trash in that rack.
Look, I do not pull back any punches when it comes to that terrible rack. I mean, it's garbage. Throw it away. I get it. Like they're branding, they're trying to sell things. I'm sure they're sitting on a ton of product. I'm just guessing. I don't know any of the ins and outs of Predator's bottom line or their inventory, but I'm guessing that a lot of them are still sitting there. And by them continuing to use that rack, it just further devalues that rack, in my opinion, because when you see it, Mike, it's so bad. I mean, it's so terribly, terribly bad, and I love the Art Deco look. It's got a nice style to it. It's outside the box in terms of design, but the thing about tools like that is that they have to be able to perform said function first, right, before you have the glitz and the glamour of it all. So and the thing doesn't
Functionality overlook? Is that what you're saying?
it doesn't rack worth a fuck, Mike. All you see is these slug racks. You know, I remember, and this has been an ongoing issue, by the way. This is nothing new. I remember interviewing Federer one time. It was a really great interview out there at in
Las Vegas?
Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. it was in Las Vegas, and I asked them like, how do you think your success has been in terms of the break or whatever, something along those lines,
The
and
Federer
he was
doesn't
just
salt anything either, does he?
well, but the funniest thing is that the referee who was racking was like right there. So he's trying to be professional, but he's ready to just go off about it. And he completely breaks like, character and just dies laughing. It was the funniest thing. But it's not even just the 10 ball though. I mean, the 9 ball rack has been terrible as well. Like I've seen a lot of like thump kind of breaks, and I know ladies don't necessarily have the biggest breaks on the planet, but like the
They can
way,
still break, yeah.
yeah, I mean, like you can see it, Mike. They're shooting from the overhead when you're viewing it, right? Um, and not only that, you can hear it, you can see it from the overhead, and you can tell by the spread of it all. It's like those things are garbage, And don't get me wrong. Look, I would much rather have a triangle rack versus a template rack, and I
Yeah,
want to make sure that's out there because I love how much the triangle rack can just give you chaos, and you're seeing that in these. You're seeing like gritty, hard earned racks. Nothing's cupcake. It's like they really. I can only imagine the amount of energy having to put together like a set like that, or like if you're a woman right now playing in a 5 setter, because they have to like put everything together, game in, game out, short races, like each set. Like it's a lot, Mike. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Um, Whereas not for nothing, but like some of these other events, or if you're playing with a template, it can be tic tac toe. So you're just kind of like going through the motions of it all, especially if you get your break dialed in.
yeah.
But yeah, that thing's terrible, man. And really, like that's one of my only like.
Thank you for your question, Arturo. It was
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's Mike. Who do you got? Who do you got winning the men's open?
Wow. I'm going with Yap. I mean, someone's going to have to tell me that he can't win before I'm going to bet against him.
I'm going with that same guy as well. And as much as I respect and am in awe of what Josh is doing again, and I'm excited to see him like get back into the season. I'm excited to see him at Derby. Hopefully, I'm excited to see him get back in the swing of things.
Yeah,
But it's hard to bet against them. I mean, it's very, very hard to bet against
yeah,
them. I am betting against them. I got a little sweater on Yap. But I mean, yeah, on Yap. But Yap is just like Dino Mad says in there. It's Yap's world right now, and like you, to your point, you know, and this is what Josh has been, right? To be the man, you got to beat the man. Well, Yap is the man right now. I don't
right.
care what ranking you go off of, like all these flawed rankings within the sport. If you watch pool, Yap is the best player. He's the most consistent player. He's the most decorated player. And even though like he didn't win the world championships, right, and have a big payday in
Right.
that one, like he's up here, and everybody else is at least a tick below, in my opinion,
Yeah,
at least right now.
yeah,
So um he's going to be too tough to fade. And like in that matchup with who was it? Oh my God, I'm trying to think. Maybe it was Jason because he played Jason, didn't he? Did Yap?
yeah,
I think he did. And Jason, to his credit, played well. Like I mean, played really well. But seeing that, like that was the most adversity that I've seen from Yap in quite some time, and it's weighted differently because of the short race. But Yap just his level of grind, and it's not a desperation grind, right? Like he's not taking these flyers when he's
yeah. No,
playing,
no.
you
He's
know, like
he's a smart player.
exactly. His tactical game is phenomenal, Mike. He'll contain when he has to contain, he'll play devastating saves when he has to play devastating saves. He's not going to go for anything that's low percentage, you know. Like I love Yap's all around game. By the way, he's shown, as Jason did in that matchup, that he's pretty proficient with the jump cue as well. Which I wouldn't necessarily have the same idea with Josh, at least not right now anyway. But Josh does kick phenomenally. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Well,
um,
Marty's saying Filler beat Jason, but that was in
earlier,
qualification. That was
yeah,
early
yeah,
in the match. Yeah,
yeah.
in the last 16, Yap beat Jason. So yeah, tough
And,
draw for tough draw for Jason getting Filler into qualifying rounds and Yap in single elimination.
and it's been cool. Like, listen, I this event showed me I miss seeing Jason out in these events.
Yeah,
Like I'm legitimately, Mike. Like it's been cool seeing him scrap and grind and play some of these players in different
they could
conditions.
have a half dozen Mosconi Cups a year. We'd be in business.
Let's go. Yeah. Well, listen, the way he was playing with Savannah just further put more value on that dude's ability to be a team guy.
Yeah,
You know, like not no disrespect to Savannah, obviously, because I love her and she's
yeah,
great and phenomenal in her own right. But like Jason is a captain of a ship, dude. You know,
yeah,
like he is great in teams. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, I'm like I said, I'm betting on Yap all day, every day, at least right now,
yeah.
and he is
Until you prove me otherwise, it's yeah,
yeah.
you bet the hot hand.
But you know, Mike, like especially in this matchup here, I wish it was a five setter. You know, because
Yeah,
this one would be like
that'd be a heavy sweat there.
yeah. I'm putting it on the main TV, you know, and I'm watching NFL on the computer on that one, you know, because that's a big matchup, man. You know, and you know you're gonna get your money's worth, even though it's free on Pearl Beard Series. So, anyhow, Mike, the Women's World Nine Ball Championship is finishing up. Allison, the Cinderella, if you can say that, lost to Seao earlier, and Christina lost to won against Xiao Fang Fu earlier. Give me your thoughts on that semifinals matchup, Mike.
I tell you what, Sao, she just came off of the PBS win in Spain,
Yeah,
and then comes down here, and she's playing. You know, I mean, she's playing really, really well right now. And she's right there. Good to see Christina back into a final. She hasn't had the greatest year of her life coming off of last year, so it'd be a really big boost to her to finish the year on a high note like this, which is great. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a five setter, so it could be a real grind. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think based on what I've seen during the event, I would probably favor Sale right now. Um, but yeah, it should be a great match. Happy to see
I,
both of them in there. Really,
of course. Yeah. I mean, like, there's great stories on either side of it, you know, and you know when I that matchup for me where it really just like the against Xiao Fang Fu was just further solidify what I had already thought about Christina coming off the Cheska match, you know, because she showed a ton
yeah,
of grit and just will to win, like Allison, like just determination to win, you know, by whatever means.
yeah,
And
yeah,
she closed out that match like I've seen big players do, not just women players, but I mean like big players in pool do, Mike, you know, where she
yeah.
was not going to give her a chance to get back in it. And I thought Cheska had a real legitimate shot to get back in it. But Christina just, for being so young, and obviously she's already a world champion, all these things, she is a closer, dude. Like
Yeah.
she is just showing
She's tough. She's tough as nails, really.
no emotion, Mike, like
Yeah.
cold as ice,
Well,
you
she's
know?
gotten through. I mean, she had a couple of years, or a few years ago, where she battled a little bit of that, I think, and then she got
Sure.
over
Yeah.
it. She took a different philosophical approach to her playing her matches, and I think it's helped her a lot.
Well, you
Uh,
can tell it's paying dividends, Mike, because and she's faced adversity. You know, Cheska punched her in the face. You know, Zhao Fang Fu was up, I think, two out of the three sets, and Christina
yeah,
won
right.
in
Yeah,
straight sets. But Zhao Fang Fu, I thought was in control and looked just ready to go. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
when I saw her up in that first set, I thought she was beating Christina. You know, but then Christina, like to her credit, she just stayed the course, like Yap is doing in this tournament, Mike. You know, like I was just talking about
I mean,
him.
yeah. Fu turned a couple of
Well,
pretty
yeah,
important racks over,
sure.
but yeah, Christina, you still got to close it when you get that opportunity. I don't know if Dino Mag came up with the FedEx, but that's one cold blooded nickname
FedEx?
for Christina.
Oh, okay. What am I? How am I missing that one, Mike?
Who's her ex?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's
No,
cold blooded right there, boy. I don't know who came up with
well,
that. I won't use it, but
just give some credit to her. Give some credit
yeah,
to her for sure.
absolutely. That's a t-shirt.
Oh,
It's a t-shirt waiting to happen.
look, it's just I love seeing players that step up and you can see in big matches where they're trading big momentum swings, you know, body blows, as I like to say. You know, Christina is just she can take a punch and she for damn sure can give one back.
And she's going to have to because Sao is not, she's playing really well right now, and she's not going to back down either. So it should be a really good final.
I'll be honest with you, Mike. I did not get to watch a whole lot of her play this week, and I did not get to see that match with Allison. And I know she won in straight sets, but
Yeah.
what was, especially in that regard, like what was your takeaway from? Was Allison just
I
like
didn't watch. I didn't watch the whole match, but when I looked in, the heat was on Allison all the time.
yeah?
Sarah didn't give her a lot of room to breathe and took advantage of any opportunity that Allison left out there.
That's what you got to do, right? I mean, especially
Yep.
in short races, especially against a player like Allison's caliber, considering how hot she was, on a heater. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's. I got to take a look at that Zen Q. Actually, Marty, it was beautiful. At least from a distance, you can tell it's a absolute monster. But yeah, big players step up when it's time, Mike, and it's cool to see Christina go through, like, she's been through every season in the sport, from on the outside looking in for so long to missed opportunities for so long into, a
Huge
world
year.
champ a
Yeah.
world champion, you know what I mean? And then now it's not it's tough to say that a young European who's already a world champion is, not going to be one of the favorites going into it, but she wasn't in my top 3 going into this tournament.
No, no, no. She was not based on what she's been doing during the year. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's what I mean,
Yeah.
So it's really just a credit to the execution, the desire when it's time, and at least the matches that I've seen, because I gotta see the one against Xiao Fang Fu and the Cheska one. I didn't miss a ball, and it was just I love seeing when she had it in her grasp, she didn't let it go you know, when the moment looked like it was just getting bigger and bigger and swelling and swelling. And I would have picked Cheska to win that match. And I did pick Cheska to win that match against Christina, and I thought she had that kind of momentum and that kind of gear. But
Yeah.
man, Christina is just leveling up. I'm pumped for that final though, Mike, especially considering Sale, like you mentioned, coming off of that win out there in Spain.
Yeah. Yeah. Gonna be great. What time is that? What time are the ladies lacing them up? I know the men are supposed to start right about now, right?
The
They
men
said.
are starting in like 15 minutes, so we're going to get out of here in just a moment. I think they're starting at 2.
Okay,
Uh,
because on their draw they had them starting at 1:30.
oh, did they? So have they started already? Let
No,
me
they have
see.
not. So maybe it is two.
Okay, yeah, because I thought yesterday it was 2, and then the women's final is tonight at 7:30. So I'm guessing, or
The
hold on.
men's finals at 5:30. So
So yeah,
uh,
they'll do the men's first at 5:30, then the women's at 7:30
wow,
following.
you better get a nice cushy chair because the women's final 7:30, 5 sets.
If that goes 5 sets, and it could, because a lot of those get.
It's gonna be 11.
Listen,
It's gonna be 10:30, 11 o'clock for it to get out of there.
this is the other cool part about this format, Mike, and you know me, I always like take it to like a gambling side of it, but when you have a format like this, like a tennis, there's so many ways to handicap it.
Yeah,
You can over under on games like you do in tennis. Like you can go so many different routes with it. Who's going to protect serve, all these things, and so and considering how both of them have experience, both of them have success, both of them are playing obviously really well because they're in the final. But just the fact that you got to earn all these racks, like there's no gimme and cupcakes for the most part. Like you don't see 3 racks strung together like a regular
you're
basis.
right,
You know what
right,
I
right,
mean?
right, right.
And so I think you're going to be in for an epic, epic, epic final. And to this point, the whole event, especially on the women's World Nine Ball, has been just phenomenal, Mike.
Yeah, really great. Yeah.
Well, what were some of your other takeaways from the event as a whole, Mike?
Um, you know, uh, really positive. I mean, it was a great event. The women's world's great. I still do, and the women didn't see too many people bitching about it, but you have a biggest world championship for the women, and they're playing doubles between singles matches and, and the world championship. That's kind of a big ask to me. I don't think that I just don't think it's that fair to the players. And I don't know, maybe some players may tell you that it helped them stay in stroke. I don't know, but they were going through some 11, 15-hour days of playing pool. And God bless Allison for making it through it and still being upright.
Yeah.
But that's for something like a world championship. I think a little more consideration should be given to keeping the quality of play as high as possible.
Yeah, I mean, look, we mentioned earlier, like I love seeing men and women go and play together like this. I do, but I think from a scheduling standpoint, maybe there's a balance to be had in terms of something a little bit more like player friendly, to where you can even it out some, and I don't know if it's more days or,
Well, yeah, it's got to be. The only fix is more days. You don't want the women playing, singles matches in the World Championship until the doubles is done. That to me is just, for the men, you could probably do a little bit of both at the same time because it's just an open tournament. It's not a world championship. There's not that much.
Sure.
It's not 5 sets, stuff like that. Oh, they didn't get the 5 sets till the doubles. Well, they did. Did get the 5 sets before the doubles was even over? I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
So that to me is that's tall order, and I think it's not. They could do better. Other than that, great event. I've loved what they've done in the past year or so, combining the men, the women, and the doubles. It's a great way. It makes sense for them. It's great for the fans. It's a great watch. But again, the only caveat I would say, if one of them is a world championship, respect it.
I hate to agree with you, but I'm going to go with you a little bit there. And and I'm sure they're taking, especially players' feedback into consideration. Obviously not ours, but and you can see it. But at the same time, when you have a situation like Allison happen, it's kind of like, well, it didn't. It didn't get broken, because she was able to manage it. And if she can, I'd say anybody else on tour can kind of
listen, it's not, they weren't threatening anyone's life.
Sure, yeah.
Watch it, but I mean, there was
some long days though.
Long days. I mean, there was more of a threat in Hanoi with the heat than there was here with extra playing time. But still, it's if you want something that's worthy to be called a world championship, you treat it that way.
Agreed. All right, the men's semifinal is going to start in about 10 minutes. You guys go check that out on Pro Bear TV. I'm going to go watch some football, go watch some pool, and go get some food. Mike, I will see you later. Are you going to be around this upcoming week? I know it's obviously Christmas coming up.
Christmas, man. Like, can I take a day off or what?
What about tomorrow? Is that Christmas ain't tomorrow?
Tomorrow, possibly, yeah.
All right. I'll holler at you. You guys go